Do Christians worship three different gods? This is one of the most common questions asked by non-Christians and especially Muslims who try and claim that Christianity is a polytheistic religion. But is that true? Let's talk about it. As Christians, we affirm that we believe in only one God, as stated in 1 Corinthians chapter 8 verses 4 and Deuteronomy chapter 6 verses 4. So why then do we talk about this Trinity? What does it mean? Before we dive into the doctrine of the Trinity, I just wanted to give a quick disclaimer. If you find yourself struggling to understand how God can be three in one, you're not alone. This concept challenges us because we naturally filter everything through our created reality. As human beings, our frame of reference is defined by time, space, and physical limitations. We tend to think that for God to be God, He must exist the way we exist, limited, confined to a single form, and bound by the constraints that we face. But God is uncreated and exists outside of these limitations. So as we approach this topic, let us remember that God's nature is far beyond our full comprehension. If you are doing your own study into the Holy Trinity, you will come across these three terms. Hypostasis, which means persons in English, ousia, which means essence, and homoousios, which means the same essence. The Orthodox Church teaches that God is one in essence, but three in persons. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are co-equal, co-eternal, and share the same divine essence. They are not one person acting in three separate forms, nor are they three separate gods, but one God in three persons. Let's look at this a bit further. When we are discussing the ousia or essence, we are discussing what God is. We discuss the divine nature that is eternal, uncreated, infinite, indivisible, immutable, and unknowable in itself. The divine essence is the foundation of the unity within the Holy Trinity. The hypostases or persons discuss who God is. The three hypostases, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, are distinct persons who fully possess that one divine essence and yet remains distinct in personal identity. So now you may be wondering, how are these three persons distinct? Each person of the Holy Trinity is distinct through their unique relationships with one another. The Father is unbegotten, as you see in John chapter 5 verses 26. He is seen to be the fountain of the Godhead, the source. The Son is eternally begotten of the Father, as we see in St. John chapter 1 verses 14 and 18, and St. John chapter 3 verses 16. The Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father alone, as we see in St. John chapter 15 verse 26. So as the essence discusses what God is, the persons discuss who God is. This completed diagram helps us understand that the Father is not the Son is not the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit is not the Father. Although these three persons are distinct, they are not separate because they share the same divine essence. But how are these three persons not three separate gods? Let's compare it with polytheism. In polytheistic belief systems, there are multiple gods, each with their own nature and essence. They have separate wills and sometimes even oppose each other. Their power is often limited to specific domains as well. Some gods are more powerful than others, forming a hierarchy of divine beings. They have weaknesses, desires, and rivalries. Many of them have a beginning. They were born or created at some point in time. In contrast, the three hypostases of the Holy Trinity are not separate beings with different essences. Instead, they share one divine essence. They do not act independently or compete with one another. The Trinity has one will, one power, and one purpose, existing in perfect unity. So do Christians worship three gods? No. We worship one God in three persons, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Trinity helps us understand God's nature, His love, and His presence in our lives. It's a mystery that we may never fully grasp, but it's a truth that transforms how we live and how we worship. This concludes the first part of a 5-part series on the Holy Trinity. In the next video, we will be exploring biblical evidence for the Holy Trinity, examining key passages that show the triune nature of God. Stay tuned.